It's February the 19th, and this is your Pacific Palisades Real Estate Market Update. I'm James Respondek with Rodeo Realty, and I've sold hundreds of homes to generations of Palisadians. And here is this week's important market activity. In the Pacific Palisades, there are currently 273 listings. Of those, 194 are land listings and 69 are existing homes. Now, there are 43 properties in escrow. Of those, 28 are land, 18 are existing homes, and since the fire, 522 properties have sold. Of those, 403 are land listings, averaging $254 a square foot, and 119 are existing homes at an average price of almost $6 million. This week, in the Alphabet Street land listings, there are 11 active listings right now. 5 are in escrow. 91 have sold since the fire, averaging at $289 a square foot. So just sold, 824 Chautauqua sold for $1,225,000. Wow. And that's a 9,400 square foot lot. The reason is it's overlooking Sunset, so you do get a little sunset exposure, a little noise. It's very wide and not very deep and goes downhill. So, you got to factor all that into that price point. Just listed 871 Galloway, a 5,200 square foot lot listed for just under $1.6 million. That's a great price. I might see some multiples on that. Just listed 1142 Hartselle, which I love because it's a little wider street in the alphabets. 6,500 square footer listed for just under $2 million. That seems to be about the price that they're listing and selling for now. They did pop up a little bit towards the end of last year. So that's $307 a square foot. 928 Iliff is listed. It's a 6,500 square footer. This is listed for $2.8 and it's sold for $1,650,000 a while back. So it probably has plans on it for that price, but still, that seems rich. 1156 Monument just sold. It's sold for $2.6. It's almost 7,800 square foot lot, and that's sold off market, by the way, and that's sold for $334 a foot. So it's a little over our price point, but Monument is nice because you got big setbacks in the front there. So it gives it a nice kind of gracious feel from the curb appeal standpoint. 823 Galloway just listed for $1,620,000. That's a smaller one, 4,637 square feet. So that's coming in at $350,000. It's a little on the high side, but it is a smaller lot. So this week, in the above the Alphabet Streets land listings, there are 18 active listings right now. 1 in escrow, 21 have sold since the fire, at $257 a square foot. Just listed 1,400 Chautauqua Boulevard. That's up at the top. It's kind of a downhill lot. It's got great views. Listed at $1,350,000. It's 11,000 square feet, 11.5, but I don't know how much of that's really flat. Just sold 1310 Goucher Street. Sold for $2.3, and that is almost 8,900 square foot lot. That has views. And just listed 14607 Best Store, listed for almost $3 million. Wow, that's a 7,800 square footer. That's coming in at $384 a foot. So they're probably dining out on some plans on that one. This week in the Via Bluffs land listings, a lot going on here. 38 active listings, 1 in escrow, 61 have sold since the fire, coming in at $298 a square foot average. Just listed 562 Via de la Paz. I like this one. 7,500 square foot lot, listed at $2.7 or $359 a foot. Now, when I said that $298 average, that's averaging the upper and lower parts of the bluffs. The lower parts meaning that Haverford-Radcliffe section down there, they get a little lower price point. Still nice, but they're just a little lower price point. Just so you understand that. 576 Via de la Paz, a 7,500 square footer, listed at $2,750. All right, so we've got 2 right there about the same price point. This one's coming in a little higher, $367 a foot. Just sold, 708 Haverford. Sold for $1,050,000 yes, it's sold for $1,595, my bad. And that's a 6,600 square foot lot, coming in at $257 a foot. All right. 512 Mount Holyoke has just sold for, wow, just under $1 million. Why is that? Well, because that lot is only 2,844 square feet. So don't get too excited. But still, entry level, get near the village, that's great. Just listed 863 Radcliffe, just listed for $1,325. Nice entry level price, 7,150 square foot lot. 633 Radcliffe just listed for $1,650,000. It's coming in at $11,807. Not sure how much of that's flat. 15213 DePauw just listed for $3 million. Okay, and that's on the rim side there, so it overlooks the little parkland where those nice bigger houses all were before. And they'll be back. So just sold 742 Patterson Place. That's that little gated street, real close to the village. It's kind of a unique little setup there. That sold for $2,855. That's an 11,000 square foot lot. And just listed 15305 DePauw, listed for $2,795, also on that rim side. And also just listed 15337 DePauw for $2,385. Wow, this is a nice buy. I like this price point. That's an 8,700 square foot lot. This week in the Via Bluffs existing homes, 1 active listings. Okay, well, there wasn't a lot of homes left there. They're coming back. I got to tell you, the houses are sprouting. I'm really encouraged. 3 have sold since the fire. And just listed 15328 DePauw, and that's his almost 2,000 square foot house on a almost 7,500 square foot lot, listed for just under $3 million. Now this is a charming little, I call it OG Palisades cottage. Okay, admittedly it's like in the middle of, you know, the day after there, but it's a great opportunity to have something that's like the old Palisades legacy. I love that. This week in the Huntington land listings, 9 active listings, 2 in escrow, 32 have sold at an average price of $427 a square foot. And just sold 717 Toyota, sold for $4.7 million. Wow, this is a good buy. 11,000 square foot lot, so it's an oversized lot. Most of them are like between 8 and 9. Just listed 730 Toyota has listed for almost $4 million, and it shows here that it sold before for $3 million. So they must have put some plans on that one, and they're dining out on those plans. And just listed 14948 Camarosa Drive. This is in the the unburnt section of the Huntington, and that is a it's almost 13,000 square foot lot, coming in at $586. So that's a little on the pricey side. This week in the Huntington existing homes section, 6 active listings right now. 11 have sold since the fire, and just listed 501 Toyota, listed for almost $8 million. That's a almost 5,800 square foot lot on a 9,930 square foot. The house was 58, the lot is 9,930, asking $8 million. That was built in 2006, so it's, it's newer, but not brand new. And we also have just sold 14959 La Cumbre. Wow, this one blows my mind. This sold for $4,950, which was the asking price. And this has a house on it, a 3,000 square foot house on an almost 12,000 square foot lot. That's a really good buy. This week in the Riviera existing homes, Just listed, 1580 Sorrento, listed for $22,500. Okay, this is a new built, almost, well, newer. It was built in 2017. I remember actually the developer here, because I sold that property to the developer in 14 for $5 million. Then it sells, I think, in, I can't remember, 2021 for 16 and a quarter, and now it's back on for 22.5. So it's a nice house, I must say. It is a nice house. Just sold 1146 Amalfi. This was a nice original Riviera ranch house, probably going to be torn down, but it was close to 4,000 square feet on an 18,000 square foot lot, sold for 7.5. And just listed 1676 Altamira. I remember this house. I sold it, wow, 20 years ago, or what? And the original address was actually a San Remo address, because it's a street-to-street lot. So it goes from the corner of San Remo and Casale up to Altamira. Fabulous lot. And this is now on the market for, did I tell you? Almost $50 million. And what has it got? 16,000 square foot house, originally built in 2005. I remember it used to have a batting cage, not sure if it still does. That was a unique thing about it. 1660 Casale. Oh, I know this property too. This is listed for $25 million. Okay, this is an IR design, Ignacio Rodriguez. It's got a kind of a sexy kind of Batman garage thing going on, where it drops down on a carousel and swivels around and all that. Fabulous views, pretty, you know, a really kind of like nice, easy living, 3 levels. Bottom level goes straight out to a big yard and pool. It's a nice property. 25, you know what? I think it's close. It's probably just a touch high, but not bad, because it's coming in at almost 11,000 square foot house on a close to 18,000 square foot lot with pretty big, fabulous big views from the top story with the master. Okay, just listed, just sold 1316 Capri. Now this was a, I think it might have been a bank-owned property. It was kind of half-baked, construction, abandoned, and sold for almost 5.3. It's an almost 21,000 square foot lot. Well, 20,400 about. And the house, as I recall, was like 5,000 to 6,000 square feet. Just listed 1319 Amalfi, listed for 22. This is on the rim of Amalfi, upper Amalfi, so it's got great views back to the mountains and Will Rogers. A really handsome traditional home, 8,300 square feet on a close to 22,000 square foot rim lot. This week in the El Medio Bluffs, we're going to go back the other way now. El Medio Bluffs land listings, 10 active listings right now. 24 have sold since the fire, averaging $284 a square foot. Just listed 611 Erskine Street. Now this is a property that sold before for $1.6 million back in April, and this is now on the market for $1.5 million. Interesting. 429 Puerto del Mar has listed for $1,675,000, and that's a 7,000 square foot lot with views down into Las Pulgas Canyon and then back down towards the ocean. And just sold 518 Muskingum Place, sold for a little over $2 million, and that's coming in at $207 a foot, and that is a good buy. A good buy, and that is a 9641 square foot lot. Wow. Okay, I like that buy. This week in the Upper El Medio land listings, there are 8 land listings right now, 1 in escrow, 12 have sold since the fire, averaging $176 a foot. Got to bear in mind, not all of that's flat, so that's why that square footage number is a little lower. Okay, just listed 1055 Las Pulgas. This is interesting. This is by the same agent again. This is so interesting because it sold back in April for $2,150, and now it's on for $2,050,000. So I am a little perplexed on that one. Now this is a 12,000 square foot lot, and so let's see what happens. Just listed 15965 Alcima. Oh, this is listed for $9.5 million. Why is that? Well, it's almost 61,000 square feet. It has 3 good pads on it, I believe, but it will need some retaining walls, I'm told. So it probably is a little rich at that number. And just sold 1170 El Medio Avenue, sold for $1,350,000. Now this backs up to the mountains at the very top, so it's on the backside of El Medio, and you know, it's got some views, and both ways. You view back to the mountains the other way. This week in the Upper El Medio single-family homes, 3 active listings, 1 in escrow, 5 have sold. And just listed 15960 Alcima. This listed for $8.5 million. It's a 6,500 square foot wood and glass contemporary. I think it was originally built in 2004 in a very mid-century style. James Tyler's the architect who's heading up the Craig Elwood firm. And it is kind of a cool look because you don't see a lot of those in that part of the Palisades. This week in Las Casas Loop land listings, 9 land listings right now, 2 in escrow, 9 have sold since the fire, averaging $213 a foot, and just listed 314 North Las Casas. Okay, so this is getting down towards more the bluff end of Las Casas, and it's a 7,300 square footer for $3 million. So that might be on the rich side, but it will have some nice views. 575 Marquette's back up the other way. That's kind of that little funky street. It's a little more rustic. Looks down into Las Pulgas, listed for $1,425, a 6,400 square footer. This week in the Marquez Knolls, oh my God, there's a lot going on here. 41 active listings, 10 in escrow, 73 have sold since the fire, averaging $177 a square foot. Just sold 753. J. Conway sold for $1,350,000. Wow, that's a pretty good price point. 11,000 square footer. I'm gonna guess 60 to 65% of that's flat. Just sold 1046 Enchanted. It sold for almost $1,700,000. I think about 6,500 square feet of this was flat. It was, you know, grossing $18,000. It does have some nice views. And just listed 17053 Bollinger for $2,900. This is on the rim, right on that loop of Bollinger that overlooks the SRF Center and the Lake Shrine and then down to the ocean. So it's a nice spot. It is above Sunset, but it's quite a bit above, so I don't think it's that impacted. 9,600 square foot lot. A lot of that's flat. That price could be a little rich. We'll see. Interesting. Same agent as those other 2, but it is the same price this time. Let's see. Just listed 854 Las Lomas has listed for $1,400,000. This is on the corner of Las Lomas and Alcima. It's a 7,300 square foot lot. And just sold 16530 Chattanooga. Sold for $1 million, almost $1,400,000. This has got views back over Sunset, so you get a little sunset impact, not severe, but 1.4 with views, not bad. 16788 Charmel Lane has listed for $4,200,000. Why is that? Because this is Charmel. That's the part of Charmel that's straight away that's got the big views, and there are some pretty big, impressive, and expensive homes in this section before it turns and goes back up towards the top. So that's a 21,000 square foot lot. A lot of it's flat, not all of that, I would say, maybe half. And just sold 16660 Linda Terrace. Very devilish address, isn't it? Let's see here. Sold for $1,740, which was over the asking on that one. 7,500 square foot lot with views. Just sold 906 Glenhaven has sold for, wow, a whopping close to 6.6. Why is that? It's down at the bottom of Glenhaven. It's a cul-de-sac. It's a double lot. and it has pretty much nothing in front of it but gorgeous views. So big double lot, big view property. That's why you get the big numbers on that. Just listed 16550 Akron. It's a downslope lot listed for $2 million. I don't know. That feels a little rich. It's 9,000 square feet, but as I say, it goes down into that water course down there, so it's charming, but not a lot of flat usable there. Anyway, 800 El Oro has just listed. That's on the corner of El Oro and Enchanted, so you are going to get some nice views. Listed for $3 million. It's 10,500 square foot lot or close to it. And just listed 16906 Scenic Place has listed for close to $2 million. This is out on a cul-de-sac with views, so I like that price point. Whew, got to catch my breath after that one. That was busy in there, wasn't it? This week in the Marquez Knolls single-family listings, we have 6 actives, 1 in escrow, 12 have sold, and we have just sold 16798 Charmel Lane, has sold for $2,780, and that sold in late 20. This is an interesting story. This sold in late 24, so just before the fire, for $2,675, and now has just resold for a little bit more, $2,780, which counters the theory of houses selling, you know, anywhere from 10 to 25% less than pre-fire prices. This did have a nice view. It's at a nice, approachable, entry-level price point. It was well presented, so, you know, each situation is individual. And just listed 16801 Sunset, so we got a Sunset property here for $1.8 million. What do you get? 6,550 square foot lot with a 1,400 square foot house. This week in the Highlands land listings, 14 land listings right now, 2 in escrow, 24 have sold since the fire, averaging, check this out, $112 a square foot. So just sold 17314 Avenida de la Herradura for a whopping $800,000. Woo, what do you get? 5,250 square foot lot, but $800,000? Folks, that is an amazing entry-level property. 17108 Herradura has just listed for $850,000. Wow, it's almost close to a 10,000 square foot lot. Some of that goes up the hill a little bit and it backs up to whatever it was, Palisades Circle there, I think it is. And just listed 1630 Chastain Parkway. Oh, this is just near my buddy's house that I sold him a long time ago for $1.5 million. This is listed for what? $1.5 million. That's for the land. You do get some nice views. You get the Summit Club up there, so, you know, it's not bad for 1.5. Just sold 16832 Calle de Serra. Now, this is even a notch above because you're in the enclave, so you're behind the gates. You have all those beautiful palm tree-lined streets right there. And this just sold, I should say, did I say listed? Just sold for $1,550,000, and that sold off market, by the way. And lastly here, we have just listed 17701 Camino de Atasto, has listed for $2.5 million. Now that's behind the Palisades Country Estates gates there, 25,000 square foot lot. Not bad. Okay, last but not least, this week in Castellamar, land listings, we have 318 Bellino. Oh, this is that same broker again. So this is listed for $2,850 and it's sold for $2,750 before, and it's almost a 10,000 square foot lot. All right, and I believe it has views back to the mountains. And we have just sold 17840 Puerto Marina, sold for $1.3 million, 4152 square foot lot. Those lots are smaller up there. I know I have the one on Castellamar, 17820, if I remember correctly, listed at a 1,750 with wonderful plans for a fabulous ocean view property. Anyway, I hope this information has been helpful to you. And if you're looking to find your perfect property, you know, I look at more property than just about anybody. Or if you're thinking of selling, you know, I know the values, I know how to position properties, and I know how to get them sold. So call me, I'd love to help. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.